What did the weird kid in your school do that you'll never forget? He was weird as F, but he smeared dog crap on his bully's combination lock before school and everybody called the bully crap hands for 2.5 years. He brought a whole rotisserie chicken to class and ate it like an apple during a lecture. He used to get made fun of for having a Thomas the Tank Engine rolling backpack, so he set it on fire in the bathroom. Hit the school bully over the head with a mini baseball bat and split his head wide open. The school bully was absolutely brutal, but I winced seeing it. Weird kid was charged with aggravated battery and expelled from school. He ended up becoming a very successful diesel mechanic. He wasn't weird at all but didn't fit into what the school and suburb considered to be normal. Climbed into the first floor lab through the window as chemistry lesson was in progress, posed dramatically at the door, announced join me in the corridors of time and left. Hey, I've got one from the perspective of a teacher and it's pretty wholesome. I had one of the weird kids a few years back. The kid was sent to the principal office for the wackiest crap like putting chewing gum in other people's hair but also his own hair etc. Didn't have a lot of friends. Anyway, also had a special need girl in that class. She was older than every other kid and an adult helper was there to help her write down the class and explain things to her when needed. Anyway, the girl farted. It just went off and she looked up and I could see in her eyes she was panicking. Being the special need girl is always hard, but to be the special need girl who farted in a class full 12 was even worse. Now, to the credit of my students, they wouldn't have mocked her outwardly and they were pretty understanding of this girl's situation. But before realizing that it was her, they would have made comments and asked who had farted. Already, I could see a few kids looking up from their papers and all. They all had the look of who farted and some were already laughing. But then, out of nowhere, the weird knight in golden armor looked up from his test, grinning ear to ear and ripped the nastiest fart I've ever heard. He was a kid but this thing sounded like the scream of a dying animal. Like I'm almost 30 and I don't do sounds like that. Plus, he moaned the most obscene sound maybe ever. It sounded like uwu years before uwu was even a thing. The entire class was either disgusted or dying with laughter. Weird kid said he was sorry then went off a second time with a pained look on his face. I had caught up to what he had done and why he had done it. I yelled at him just enough to be believable, asked him to go to the bathroom if he needed to and asked him to stay at the end of the class. The entire class knew he had done F up. They all went back to their test and the weird kid acted like nothing had happened. At the end of class everyone left but I told the weird kid to wait at the door. The girl's helper came to me and was like, okay, quick heads up, I think he did it on purpose to help the girl, and I was like, yeah, I think so too, but let him say that because maybe it wasn't it. I was 99% sure it was what he had done, but anyway, I let him back in and asked him why he had done that. I also told him I thought I knew and he admitted that yes, he had done it to cover for the girl because he didn't want her to feel bad about it and that way people laughed at him, but that because he was always doing things people laughed at, it was okay. I told him it was a cool thing to do, he agreed and went on with his day like it was nothing. Goddamn hero. He had a tooth he was able to easily remove and put back in for some reason and would do it for a quarter. Surprisingly, I think he actually made quite a bit of money doing it because I constantly saw people paying him so good on him I guess. We were playing baseball, he was either on the first or the second base, can't remember exactly, and I was next to him. He said, watch this, I'm gonna do something cool. He pulled his pants down and took a crap on the base. I was shocked and no one else saw it. I didn't know how to act, I was speechless. The kid batting got a hit and the kid who pooped on the base ran to the next base. Then the next kid went on to the base that had poop on it and slid. He was like, who the F shat on the base? Mouthed off to the teacher who got so angry he stormed down the aisle, grabbed the kid's desk and slid it, with the kid still sitting in it, all the way to the back of the class and made him sit there for weeks later. Same kid had a big brother who caught a fly in the library and popped it in his mouth and swallowed it whole. We later heard after high school that the kid was goofing around with a gun and accidentally gut shot his big brother. We had this kid in class that was bullied all through HS. Me and 3 others were the only people to talk to him and treat him as a normal human being. He was special and he knew that, so he didn't mind standing out, he just disliked the bullying. The principal knew all about the bullying but never did anything about it, but the kid never snapped. Instead, he started an anonymous online blog where he'd post all details about the bullying school-wide and the principal called him into the office. The kid invited the local newspaper to join him. They wrote an entire article about it and the principal had to step up to save the school. The bullying also stopped and the kid was able to be weird again and could pick his nose and eat it without being bothered. Cool kid. Think he works at Apple now. Dude brought a waffle maker to school and during PE he stayed hidden in the dressing room until they locked it and then he chilled there and made some waffles for himself until the class ended and the dressing rooms were unlocked again. The smell of waffles was nice though. He was a rancher's kid, and he showed up on the high school campus in a front loader filled with bagels. Literally hundreds of bagels and poured them out on the central terrace. 6-foot high pile of bagels. He parked the thing back in the lot, walked back to his pile of bagels, and just started chucking bagels at people. Started a bagel fight that was legendary. There was a girl in high school who would hiss at people and carry around a stuffed pumpkin. She told me that I was fun to bully because I was too nice and wouldn't do anything about it. Crying face, knew low when you get bullied by the weird kid. Turned out to not be who she said she was. She acted very standoffish. Turned out she was actually a 31-year-old adult woman suffering mental health issues. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel our posts.